Hello and welcome to my channel today, Boo Snakes and more. Today we're going to be talking about Batman, so please like and subscribe to this channel. And for more videos like this, watch my other house channel, A&A Snakes and Stuff, my youngest son's channel, Henny's Toys and Games, or my oldest son's channel, Little Chris 10. Now let's dive into the video. Every superhero fan knows that Batman has the most compelling rogues gallery in comic history. However, his villains aren't static. Over the decades, many have only become more and more terrifying. But there are also a few who have meowed, becoming significantly more sympathetic, mellowed, becoming significantly more sympathetic, or even heroic. For this list, we're looking at the characters who started out extreme and became more reasonable, and the characters who started out as minor threats and became unholy terrors.
When Batman started his crime-fighting career, he preferred operating alone, but over the years, he has had multiple sidekicks assisting him in his vigilante activities. Today at Screen Rant, we count down some of Batman's most loyal and powerful sidekicks. Tim Drake is the third Robin in Batman's life, but Drake immediately stands out with better detective skills. While his hand-to-hand combat is as impressive as other Robins, it's his investigative expertise
These
that Batman
categories,
really values.
as well as
This
some
Robin has had
honorable
an equal
mentions.
in this sense. It's no wonder that Batman sometimes feels that Tim Drake might be an even better detective than him. After all, Drake was the first one in the comics
More
who could
terrifying
really reveal
Riddler.
Batman and Nightwing's real identity.
For decades, Riddler was depicted as a thief
Costumed
who
heroine,
loved puzzles and showing off his
female sidekick,
intelligence. Instead, Riddler stayed so low threat
and an attitude
for so long that one of his
Unlike
most
many Robins in
famous
Batman
stories
Week,
is when
Barbara didn't get personal
when
fighting
it's a
with
door.
Batman becoming
Of the Riddler, Neil Gaiman For decades, Riddler was depicted as a thief who loved puzzles and showing off his intelligence. Indeed, Riddler stayed so low threat for so long that one of his most famous stories is When is a Door? The Secret Origin of the Riddler, Neil Gaiman, Burning Mortality, where Riddler laminates that Batman's other villains have turned dark and gritty, leaving him behind. Riddler's first kill came in 1977, and he became darker and darker as the years passed. Notable sliders into horror came in the Zero Year Art, where Riddler plunged Gotham into chaos in his attempt to summon a demon through ritual murder in 1990's Dark Knight, Dark City. Of course, the darkest take on the Riddler comes from 2022's The Batman movie, where Paul De Niro portrays him as a mentally ill terrorist who believes he's working with Batman. More reasonable, Poison Ivy. Starting out as an ambitious aroma thief, Poison Ivy has retroconnected into an eco-terrorist in 1988, gaining control over plant life as she went. In the past, Poison Ivy has been depicted as an outright threat to all human life, hoping to kill our Homo sapiens to gift Earth back to its natural fauna. However, as time has passed, real-world readers have grown a little more aware of ecological issues. As attitudes have changed, Poison Ivy has been depicted as more of an anti-hero, and even sometimes as a hero, with her relationship with Harley Quinn humanizing her even further. Today's Poison Ivy is more often depicted going after truly despicable villains than being a threat herself. And when she does threaten lives, it's shown to be a morally complex situation or one that got out of her control. More terrifying Scarecrow. Scarecrow has always been scary, as Jonathan Crane used psychological trickery to study fear and settle personal scores from the very beginning. However, especially with the introduction of his fear gas in the 60s, Scarecrow has gone from psychotic to demonic. In today's comics, Scarecrow's overuse of his signature gas has left him unable to feel fear except when being chased by Batman, causing him to commit horrific crimes to keep the Dark Knight's attention. He's tortured children, mutated his own body, and launched wide-scale terrorist attacks on Gotham as part of either his experiments or his efforts to fear again. All the while, Scarecrow's design has gotten creepier and creepier, from a sewn-shut mouth to a hypodermic needle gloves, to George Jimerson's depiction of the villain as a gas-masked apparition. Above, more reasonable Killer Croc. Suffering from an extreme case of autoverism, Waylon Jones' body has grown scales and sharp teeth and claws, turning him into a monster. While he's a vicious threat, he's also sympathetic, living as a criminal because he is ostrated by society. Indeed, Croc often works with Batman and is frequently shown defending communities of outcasts who see him as a protector. That's a million miles from his first appearance in 1983, Detective Comics number 523, where he was a vicious gangster who murdered the aunt who raised him. Killer Croc was even responsible for killing the parents of second Robin, Jason Todd, by feeding them to crocodiles, a dark act which was later retroconnected out of canon. Croc has grown stranger and bigger over time, but he's also gone from a callous murderer to conflicted muscle and protector. Honorable mentions: the Joker, Batman's nemesis, is so chaotic and variable that it can apply to both categories on this list. Joker debuted in the 1940s as a vicious killer with a deliberately scary design. In the 1950s, public outcry about comics corrupting the youth made him more of a playful clown. However, in the 1970s, he once again became a terror and has warped into a truly twisted serial killer in the decades since. The Penguin. Penguin was originally depicted as a deranged criminal obsessed with umbrellas and using birds in his crimes. Today, he's way more of a vicious gangster who would personally bite your throat out if you cross him, but who will strike a deal and even inform on other villains if the price is right. Does that make him more or less terrifying? You decide. Clayface, Baz or Carlo, was originally a human serial killer who wore a mask. In the years since, he's become a tragic, shape-shifting villain who has worked with Batman multiple times despite his powers messing with his impulse control and sense of mortality. More terrifying, Mad Hatter. Jarvis Tetch's Mad Hatter started out in 1948 as a funny little weirdo who liked Alice in Wonderland and used a gas gun to burglar a yacht club. Following his first appearance, he was replaced by a different version of the villain who relied on hat-based gadgets for his heist. In 1982, Jarvis returned with a vigilance, murdering the imposter and revealing he's been locked up in Arkham for years. This Jarvis is one of Batman's most delusional villains, often seeing the world as an Alice-inspired fantasy and using his mind control technology to control his own emotions. The more Mad Hatter appeared, the creepier his Alice in Wonderland obsession got. With some extremely dark implications, Robin Year One duplicates him, using his tech to kidnap and traffic teenage girls, while the iconic Arkham Asylum, a serious house on Sirius Earth, strangely implies he's a sexual predator. More reasonable, Catwoman. The ultimate feminine fatale, Catwoman straddles her line between hero and villain, fighting for Gotham's underclass the way she thinks is best, even if it clashes with Batman's principles. While she's still an unpredictable agent of chaos, Catwoman's recent turn towards explicit heroism has unavoidably mellowed her from her more selfish origins, where she was all about personal profit. Nothing stretches the change like one look at her original costume, back when she was just known as the Cat. Having posed as an old woman in her original outing, Catwoman appeared in Batman #3 with an ensemble straight out of a horror movie. Ultimately becoming Batman's main love interest, put a ceiling on how wild Catwoman's behavior can be. If she does anything truly terrifying, it would make it hard for DC to reconcile the ultra-strict Batman continuing to associate with her. Why Tom King and Clayman's out-of-canon Batman/Catwoman tried to restore Selina Kyle's psychological side, showing her killing Batman's villains after his death. The mainstream continuity depicts her as a master burglar for the underprivileged, a bit with more flexibility than the rest of the Bat family. Those are the three Batman villains who became more terrifying over time, and their more reasonable counterparts. Let us know in the comments which of these entities you agree or disagree with, and who else belongs on this. Thank you for watching this video, and peace out till the next one.